I'm just gonna wait until the stream actually shows up on my YouTube. Well, there's no point of me welcoming anyone. We've got 0 viewers so far. So.
Yep.
I'll just share it out via Twitter and all that.
Yeah, got a decent grid today at least. Should be alright. So, when there was only like 13 or whatever there was with 11 or something for the first race, I was a bit worried, but
yeah, well, welcome to our viewers tuning in today. For round 3 of the FP title fight this season, we head to Bahrain. Hulk, have you got a few words while we warm the stream up?
anyway, yeah, it should be a very good race. Obviously we had F1 yesterday evening and that was a very exciting race, and we'll have much of the same drivers here with a few extra ones. We have the likes of Chicken Owens and Bagel Paul, Big C, and they'll all be looking to have a good victory today, a good race, some good points. I know Big C was hoping to score his first points of the season today, so that should be his aim, I think. Yeah, it should be good fun.
Yeah, and just describe the Bahrain circuit to our viewers who may never have seen it in their lives. I'm sure most of them have, but just describe it.
Yeah, well, I'd hope most of them have. It's quite a famous circuit by this point, but yeah, it's very much a power track. So lots of long straights, lots of overtaking opportunities, and a few very heavy braking zones, especially down at turn 1, turn 8, another area, turn 3 as well. So we should be having some decent overtaking today. It's quite heavy on the tyre wear. It's quite difficult to do a one-stop around here, although it's not impossible to do. So we might see a little bit of variation in strategy, but not too much, I don't think. So, but yeah, it should be a very exciting race because there is, as I said earlier, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities to be had.
No, you're definitely right about that. And one thing our viewers may not understand is how most of the drivers on the FP grid actually enjoy racing in this league the most. Maybe because the pressure's off. It's just more of a calmer atmosphere, a lot more fun and enjoyable. So a lot of these drivers will be letting their hair loose as they run down the back straight here today. And I'm sure we'll see plenty of wheel-to-wheel action and battling.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, if they think the pressure's off, they don't really see it as maybe as important a championship as other areas. They might be take more risks, have a bit more fun with it. So yeah, it should be a good race. I'm trying to get the tables off, but I can't find them.
Yeah, well,
because for some reason they don't pin them, which they're well found them now.
Alright, well, while we're on that topic, let's just criticise the league admins, even though they're brilliant. But, you know, in terms of the best run leagues on the PSGL site, we you know, mustn't neglect this. You know, it's fair to say...
I think we're waiting on you to become a spectator.
Oh my god, I do apologise. Sorry about that, guys. Getting a bit ahead of myself, but in terms of the best run leagues on the site, you know, PSGL F4 has got to be right up there, and you as their league admin, you know, you must be impressed with the stellar job that you've done over the seasons.
I'm not one to comment on that sort of area. I'm happy that other people are happy, but everyone runs the league the one way, so yeah, that's all I'm going to say to that.
No, that's good. And the viewers are streaming in. We've got 8 viewers tuning in, listening to our voices here this evening. And what sort of tyre selection do you think people will go for today?
Well, it does seem to be relatively straightforward. Super soft, medium, if you can manage it. Although the super soft do wear quite quickly around here. If you try to push them too far, you may end up with a puncture. Yeah, I think Uh, mediums will be the second stint for almost everybody. There may be one or two people who wish to go a bit more aggressive and go for a two-stop with the softs, and then maybe another super soft stint at the end of the race. But no, I think most people will go for the one stop with the medium tyre.
Yeah, well, I think we'll see a lot of one-stoppers, but it is Formula Performance, and some cars do have worse tyre wear than other cars, so it'll be interesting. And what we've got, Gaming Alimonda tuning in today, and he's saying that he thinks all the races this week will be similar to PSGL F1 last night, fights all the way to the end. And we are here under midnight conditions, Hulk.
Yeah, we are. We decided that the sort of normal, the alleged official conditions weren't authentic enough. It doesn't show them in the night as it should be, so that's what we're having instead. We're going to have a fully night race.
Should be an absolute cracker as the drivers prepare here today. I wonder who's going to be first out on track, because usually it's Ash Best.
Yeah, it is pretty much every single time, so that's probably why I'd guess. He was saying earlier on, I just heard him in the game chat just before I joined you in the party, was that he doesn't think he can win in the McLaren at all this season. So it should be interesting to see whether he's just bluffing there or whether that actually turns out to be true.
Yeah, well, he is the first car out there. I think we've had a lot of stream coverage. I'm sure Ash Best wouldn't mind if we went on board with someone else, preferably not a McLaren, because I've seen too much of them. So I wonder who else is going to be out there. So we'll show Ash Best for the meantime, but I'm sure there'll be other drivers streaming out of the pit lane.
Yep, they are. I know everybody was saying that Chicken Nones is going to be the favourite for this race in the Ferrari. He has been very quick throughout his time here at PSGL, and he's been given a very favourable car selection being put in that Ferrari, a bit like Warren Haig last week, so maybe he's one to keep an eye on.
No, definitely. And we're going to stay with Jolyon and Manu for the opening first lap. This man, he doesn't usually get that much race coverage, but he did win an incredible race here in PSGL F1 a few seasons ago, in season 17, from 13th on the grid. So Joel here in the Force India will be hoping to use that Mercedes engine to its advantage. And the Game Freak has just asked me who will be the fastest team in Monaco this weekend. Well, I haven't followed F1 that closely, but I'd assume the Red Bull will be quite good with their aerodynamic package. So while Joel heats up for a flying lap as he looks ahead of Ash Best, the car selection for today: Mercedes, we've got JP Greenwood and Joe Finn. In the Ferrari, it's Fraggle Paul and Chicken Owens. In the Red Bull, Flying Frame and McPhee. In the Force India, Dino and Joel, who we're on board with at the moment. Williams, Curtois and Mr. Grumpy. Renault, AMS and Big C. In the Toro Rosso, we've got CC Brain and Warren Haig, so Haig making a step down, the championship leader. In the Haas, we've got Jack Lacey and Wacko, and in the McLaren, Ash Best and Oogie. But here we go, Joel on a flying lap. Are you there, Hulk?
I am indeed. Just letting you go through the car list now. So yeah, he just came out of the first section now, coming through turn 3. Let's see what his first sector time is going to be as he heads up towards, I believe this is either turn 3 or turn 4. Although turn 4. See what his first sector time is. He just comes out of the corner now, about the end of the sector. It's going to be a 28.8. I have no idea what that means.
No, well, neither do I, my friend, because when I raced here, I don't think I even made it past turn 1. I didn't even make it off the start line because I was just embedded into the side of the wall. But Joel on a great lap, looking to replicate his form on the super soft tyre in the Force India. Pink Panther shining in the moonlight here at Bahrain. What can he do? One of the most experienced drivers around. Look at that, he's really got the car hooked up there.
Yeah, just riding the curb on the outside there. That can be a bit risky. It can unsettle the car slightly, but he's got it well under control as he heads down onto the back straight before the final corner.
It's a decent lap time at the moment. Walker goes fast as well, 130 point. For 130 dead, and Ashfest just a thousandth behind him. But what can Jolian Imanadu. Can he stick it on provisional pole? Oh, it's a front row chicken owns who goes past. And who else is out there? Oh, Mr. Grumpy. Another experienced driver. I know there's a few cars in front of him, but we're going to stay on board with Mr. Grumpy because this man deserves all the respect he can get. Ain't that right, Holt?
Yeah, you see he's on the soft tyres here today, so obviously going for a bit more of a conservative strategy. It's not a bad one though, and Matt Williams I can't imagine has the best tyre wear in the world, so but it does like very good straight line speed, so we'll see what his time is. He heads up towards the line now. He's going to open DRS just before start finish line, so 1:30.8, which puts him P10 for the moment, just in front of last week's winner Warren Hick.
Yeah, and we're on board here with Matt Fee, who's just started his lap, and Matt Fee has been one of the ever-present veterans of the PSGL site. He made his debut under my adminship, and he's gone on to be a very successful racer on PSGL, one of the league directors, and I'm sure you know this man very well. I'm sure you've raced him over the seasons.
Well, actually, I don't think I've raced him a couple of times in well, this league actually when it was called F5, but I haven't actually raced him in the Eagle Performance League. He got promoted at the season, and I went up to F3 when he won it. So he's obviously been slightly less ever present this game, but he's still here today. He's obviously the F1 director, and he's in the Red Bull, so it should be a good. Let's see what time he can get, and there's apparently going to be a restart.
A restart? Well, I don't know why. I don't know where that's come from, but a restart in FP, Hulk. It seems like we're always running around with rotten luck when it comes to restarts, but hey ho. Well,
yeah, I'm not entirely certain why that's happened, but apparently there's people out of sync, whatever that means. But
yeah, well, out of sync, out of touch, I don't know, but not the greatest of laps from McPhee in the Red Bull, but we are getting a restart, so I do apologise to our viewers as we migrate host, but it gives us a little bit more time to chat to our viewers. And Game Freak has asked us, do we know the longer version of this track, and did you drive it on F1 2010?
I did, and it was the dullest track I have ever raced on in my life. I don't know why they decided it was a good idea. I think in real life you had some 2 minutes, like over 2 minute lap times during the race. It was just an utterly bizarre decision to extend the track, but I'm glad it's now back to normal.
Yeah, so am I. I thought that track layout was absolutely horrendous. I made my debut in league racing on the F1 2010 game, but I don't think I ever did a league race on there and around that track, and thank God I didn't, because that was an absolute bore. So Kurt Oyce, he obviously had a poor run as well. I think he's 3 seconds off the pace. But I mean, surely, Hulk, we've got to get the pitchforks out, because a restart again in FP. I mean, what are your thoughts?
It just needs to happen every single time we appear to be commentating. I mean, it happened twice in the F1 race we commentated on, and here we are again. It makes things a bit more difficult for us, but yeah, I suppose anyone who didn't put in a very good lap, they'll be breathing a sigh of relief and go again, try and get a better lap time next go. But yeah, I'm not entirely certain what the problem is. You're saying out of sync, but I'm not entirely certain what that was meaning. So
well, neither do I. So if you do have any questions in the chat about our FP grid tonight, or any other questions, please submit them in the chat. I know we've not got a lot of viewers, but if you're tuning in, just let us know your thoughts in the comment section.
So, has there been a new lobby set up yet?
Oh well, I don't think there has been one yet, but we've got a question here from Jolian Manu, and he's asked, who's the most experienced driver around? I'll make a start with that. I think Mr. Grumpy is one of the most experienced names, along with Big C and obviously Jolian Manu, who's also a wet weather specialist, from what I've seen over the years. Who would you say is the most experienced? Oh,
Well, I did actually look through the archives a while ago, so I think Mr. Grumpy does take that title at the moment, unless someone ends up coming back from the distant past. But yeah, certainly in performance at the moment, it is Mr. Grumpy.
Yeah, 1,000 league race starts, I believe, for that man alone. And a question for you, Hulk, from Gaming Alimonda. What gets you angry?
It's a good question. I'm not sure if anyone would really like to find out. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe people spinning out and ended up crashing into me on the first lap. That's a bit annoying. Restarts as well. I'm not a big fan of that.
No, I'm definitely not a fan of the restarts. But what I thought would make you a bit angry is, your beloved football club, Sunderland, AFC, and the likes of Jack Rodwell stealing a living. But we won't go into that.
We're debt free now, so that's
Yeah, that's a good thing. With Mr. Ellis Short selling up the club, he's actually going to be in the grandstands here today, watching on at the Bahrain Grand Prix. So, one of the special guests for this weekend, Mr. Ellis Short. And Game Freak has asked, who will win the F4 battle between the Renaults?
Well, at the moment, it's not really much of a battle as much as a rout, but I've heard that Game Freak is missing a couple of races, so hopefully I can pick up some points on him then. And so it could be quite close. If I get some good results and some tracks that are more favourable to us, I might call some points back. But overall, I think Game Freak has got the overall edge on us, so I think he's gonna take that title.
Okay, and another question for you, Hulk, from somebody called Kona McDonough. Is Josh your bestie?
No.
So
I'm not saying I dislike him, but no.
I mean, there's better out there. And Anthony Bill was asked, why is Cloudy Balloons the funniest PSM? Well, he could be a balloon in the mix here today, and he could definitely be throwing a few clouds in the irons, or whatever you fucking call it. And Anthony Hagues asked, how do you think the FP cars should be decided? Pace and championship order or purely championship order? I personally think pace should determine who's in what car. I mean, it's nice that cars switch around each and every race, but sometimes it can be a bit of a lottery and someone can end up at a disadvantage. So don't know if you agree with that sentiment.
No, I do understand why people want it to be sort of changed depending on the championship order, but at the same time I think it's fairer just to go purely on pace, because just because someone has a few bad races where they maybe get spun on the first lap and end up down the order, that doesn't mean that they've suddenly lost about a second and a half worth of pace. It just means that they've had an unfortunate series of events. So in my opinion, it should be judged purely off pace, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And Hulk, you're getting so many questions here. From Jolien and Manu, do you turn green when angry?
And not that I've noticed, but yeah, I'll have to take a look next time, but I don't think so.
Well, you don't know what could be in the water down in the northeast, but I'm pretty sure it's clean. Gaming Alamonda's asked, your pick to win the World Cup? That is just a really hard pick. I haven't really thought about it. I mean, if I just threw a team out of the hat randomly, I'd say Spain seem like they've got a pretty decent package.
I had a look actually. I think, and I hate to say this, but I think that the French have a decent chance because they've got a relatively easy group compared to some other teams. But they do have a lot of they're not particularly experienced squad at the moment. They've got a lot of youth. I think they're even taking a 19-year-old. So, but yeah, I think France probably have, especially up front, they've got one of the strongest packages overall.
Well, I'd agree with you. They've got very talented squad. We don't want to go too much into the football chats. But Game Freak has asked, did Martinez make a mistake not to select Nangolan or whatever his name is? I don't know too much about him.
I'd say yes, especially because they took that little streak of piss known as Adnan Januzaj, who's an utterly abysmal footballer,
horrendous,
and he somehow wins. He somehow goes to the World Cup, and yeah, I don't know how he got picked.
Yeah, as long as they've got Fellaini, I'm sure they'll be fine. They can use him as a plan B. And another question from Anthony Bill, just before we get underway. Ask Hulk, are you a burger?
No, but I do have a penchant for them. I'm quite a fan of them.
Okie dokie. Right, so qualifying is underway here for a second time. And I wonder if people will be desynced from one another, as I was desynced from the PSGL F1 grid for the last 2 seasons with my pace. So we'll just wait for someone to leave the garage, and I think a Ferrari is going to be coming out on track, so we might stay on board with someone a bit different. And Chicken Owns in a Ferrari, that to me, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me.
No, I think I said last week that he's probably one of the favourites to move up the order in terms of sort of from F3 upwards. So I think in the Ferrari, I think it might be a bit of a mistake. I think he might run away with this race in the same way that Warren Haig did last week. He's a very quick driver and he's improving all the time. So yeah, I don't think that it was the right decision. But let's we'll wait and see.
Okay. Well, there's a bit of traffic out there. I think that's a McLaren up the road. I'm on board with Chicken Owns. I've got a call to take, so just give us a few words on him.
Yeah, so he came into F4 halfway through last season, which is where I got my first few of them, and he did very well, set a couple of pole positions. I think as I mentioned last week, he got his first podium, well nearly his first podium in Britain. He was very unlucky in a fair few races, got taken out in the first lap of the Belgian Grand Prix, but eventually he did find his way to a victory, the very final race of the season in Japan, in absolutely abysmal wet conditions, and because of that he's shown his pace well enough to move up to F3, where he's joined with his uncle, and doing very well so far from what I've seen. So yeah, I think he's just about to start his lap now, just holding back a bit. Let's see how he does. He heads now through the final corner and sets on his way to start his flying lap. And yeah, I think again, as I mentioned earlier, I think he should be the favourite for this race. He's a very quick driver, and the Ferrari might be a bit over generous of a choice for him there. So.
No, you're definitely right about that. And just taking a look at his first corner, he did miss his braking point slightly, but he seems to have recovered this lap back on track. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I think the car is so good for him that he can afford to make a mistake. I don't think that should be happening. I think you should be making your laps absolutely perfect. You shouldn't be able to get pole when you're making big mistakes like completely missing the apex at the first corner.
Yeah, and he's just got that braking point absolutely spot on. Chicken Owns really prancing around in a prancing horse at the moment. This is going to be a good lap from one of the younger drivers on the grid here today. His uncle is out on the pitch as well, so I wonder if the family relations will come into play with Chicken and Flying Froman. As you can see, he really struggles out of the exit now.
Yeah, he does. He's just heading down towards turn 14 now. Sorry, just a bit of a cough there. Brakes hard. Now at 4th gear, now accelerating through what is turn 15 and down towards the start finish line. What's his time? So 1:29.2, which is 7/10 faster than Wacko did, and that might be quite tough to beat with everybody in relatively slower cars.
Yeah, and the lap times are coming tumbling down, and one man looking to be part of the tumble dryer. It's Matt V99. What can he do in the Red Bull race? Into the line we go, and oh dear, I don't know if he invalidated that, but he's having to start another lap, so I wonder who else is out there. Grumpy The experienced Grumpy on the yellows. He hasn't changed his ways. Lessons haven't been learnt, but he goes 8th.
He does, and I'd like to ask a question, why cloudy balloons in the Sauber? I thought we weren't using the Sauber.
Well, I think he's got to bite the bullet and just stay with that car. I don't think there should be another restart. If you don't select your car correctly, you pay the price, and you know the show must go on. So cloudy balloons in the Sauber. Look at him; he's absolutely struggling. There's a Ferrari behind him who feels they're much faster at this stage, and Mr. Balloons has got, you know, absolutely no pace, no grip. He's going absolutely nowhere, and that Ferrari backs off in the background. But McVie is on a lap in 15th. Holt, do you want to take us through this tight and twisty final sectors?
Yep, as he heads now through turn 11 up to 12, he's set a time of about 1:30.6 last time, but it was invalidated, so we'll see what he does this time on his second flying lap. Heads now down through turn 13, down the back straight, accelerating up past 170 miles an hour up to 8th gear, brake harder around just after the 100 metre board, down to 4th gear through turn 14, and this is technically 2 corners apparently, but it's really only 1, and he heads into the pits, so he's not going to set a second lap on those super soft tyres. He wants to ensure that his tyres are decent sort of wear before he goes on the race with them, because it is quite easy to wear them.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers will be going back into the pits as their tyres will degrade. So while everybody heads into the pits, one man who has left the pit lane is Juho Finn, and we always do seem to get a lap on board with him, which is always nice to see. He had a great race, didn't he? Was it Brazil? He's nearly running in a podium position at one point.
He did, he very nearly got a podium. He decided to gamble, staying on the dry tyres towards the end, and it very nearly paid off for him. But in the end, he had to make do with just a decent points haul. But either way, it was a very good race for him.
Yeah, and I just saw that kick of oversteer for Juho Finn, running with absolutely no assists. That car was sliding around. While Juho Finn gets started on a flying lap, we've got a question from Game Freaker. What is your favourite F1 track? For me, it's Spa. Just love the corners. Just love how long the circuit is, and it's just lovely to race around there.
Yeah, Spa's a good circuit. And did suddenly get a rather favourable sort of idea towards the USA because I won there. But no, I think we did it toward Leeds Silverstone overall.
Okie dokie, so we're going to get a lap on board here with Juho Finn, who struggled to make it around the final corner. This man, he'll be hoping to score points today. There's a grid of 19 drivers. Juho Finn down the back straight, 210 miles an hour, just add 10 miles an hour for the sake of it, into the heavy braking zone, misses his braking, goes off, and he's going to have to continue this lap, just get something on the board. But I think he might have aborted this. It's cold brakes.
Yeah, I think he just about has enough time to get round to the pits and back out again if he does a very quick in lap. But yeah, certainly not what he wanted to do.
Well, we can get a lap on board via his teammate JP Greenwood. As if one Mercedes wasn't enough, they're getting a lot of airtime, and they're 18th and 19th on the grid. And JP Greenwood is going out on the soft tyres. Holt, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, maybe he feels like he can't do a one-stop on the super soft tyres, which I'd say would be fair enough. In that case, going on the soft tyres would definitely be the best strategic decision, but it's not going to make his qualifying chances any better, certainly. And he's still looking for his first points of the season, having DNF'd in both of the first 2 races, so he's got to be looking for a good result here.
Yeah, you can just see those steering movements on board with JP Greenwood. He's really wrenching the car around. Just look at him. He's even whistling that steering wheel down the straight as he approaches his heavy braking zone. Is he going to miss it like his teammate did? He goes very deep, but just avoids every single curb he possibly can. Can he nick a toe from the McLaren up the road of Ubi Uzine? No, he doesn't. So he needs to get this braking point absolutely spot on, and he does, Hulk. He does.
Yep, he does, and he sets 29.2 for his first sector, so I really don't know what that means. It's probably looking back, maybe a 131 or so, if he continues at this pace, which will put him around 12th, 13th place, which might not be what he was hoping for, but on the soft tyres he might have to take it. Big kick of oversteer there out of that rather difficult hairpin. He heads now down on the DRS straight.
And Holt, I've never seen a driver have so many bites at one corner, and JP Greenwood, look at him, he's absolutely wrenching it around, but his car's pretty planted on the circuit. We saw at Melbourne, he just absolutely lost the back end, but he's keeping it on the track here today, so he may be in the shout for a points finish if he can make it all the way until the end. There's a lot of other quick drivers out there fighting for pole, but JP Greenwood deserves the airtime, as I believe Fraggle Paul has put it onto the front row. JP Greenwood, here we go, to the line, and it's invalidated. Disaster for the Mercedes drivers.
Well, he can go for another lap on those soft tyres, I suppose, but certainly not what he wanted to do. And Joe Finn he's technically got a lap on the board for 137.8, but it's not what he wanted. So he was about to cross the line again. It's 132.3, which doesn't improve him in terms of track position.
No, well, it's disaster for Mercedes, but Ugi Azim's out there on the flying lap for McLaren Honda. He's currently in 10th. He was our race winner a while ago, and Chicken Owns is out. Has he binned it? Oh,
nope. He's just given up on the lap. He is still on pole by 0.2 of a second, so it might be a bit unlikely for anyone to beat him. Fraggle Paul is probably the closest challenger, although he is on an in lap at the moment, so I don't think that he's going to be the one to do it.
Yeah, and Ugi Azim will need to keep things tight. He obviously won this race in PSGL F1 last night. Ugi Azim known for being one of the biggest bottle jobs around when it comes to fighting for titles and championships, but he'll be looking to right things here in the Formula Performance League. But in a McLaren around Bahrain, you're fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, it's true. It is very much a power track, and you can't really get any power in the McLaren Honda. So it's maybe not surprising to see him down in the 8th place.
Grumpy is out of the session in P9. I'm sure he'll be hoping to start outside the top 10 on a fresh set of tyres. But Ugi Azim to the line. Here we go in the McLaren Honda. Where can he put it? The Rawalpindi Express to the line, and he doesn't improve. Who else is out there?
I'm not very certain.
Big C.
He's on it.
Big C's out there.
He's got practically no mention so far in the Renault. He's still looking to score his first point of the season, so he's about to finish the lap, isn't he? He's coming down on the back straight towards the final couple of corners. Does look like it could be an alright lap. I'm not sure whether he's going to improve on the 29.7 that he said earlier, but we're about to wait and see. As the DRS is now open across the line, he does a 129.3, which puts him in 4th place, so it improves by 1 position, I think.
Yeah, and I just wonder what car is CC Brain in. He's in the Toro Rosso. I believe he's coming into the final sector. He'll be one to keep your eyes peeled out for. CC Brain to the line, and he goes 6th. That's a great lap. Ugi Azim's out of the session. I don't know if we should go on board with Ash Best. I think he's going to be crossing the line soon, but Joel is going to be one to keep an eye out for as well. Pits?
Yep. Well, Ash Best did just set a lap time. He improved by half a tenth, which I'm not sure if it improved his position. He's ended up in 10th place.
It hasn't, but Cloudy Balloons in the Sauber. Oh, he runs wide. An absolute disaster. So 19 drivers here tonight. So this is probably one of the most record attendances we've ever seen in the FP League. So everybody looking forward to a bit of Bahrain, and I reckon we're going to get a close action-packed race. And since we've got 19 drivers to run down, we'll just say it's Chicken Owns on pole. In the Ferrari from Fraggle Paul, Jack Lacey, Big C, Joel, CC Brain, Wacko, Frome, and I think it's AMS in 9th. So as we just see Cloudy Balloons get wheeled back into the garage, Hulk. That was a great quali session, wasn't it?
Yep, it was. It was rather exciting. It was. You see, it's very close between the top two, just 0.2 of a second by the two Ferraris, and then you have a little bit more of a gap as you have lots of people within about 0.3 of each other, from about 3rd all the way down to 8th place with flying form on the Red Bull. So yeah, it looks like most of the grid is fairly close to each other, and through for an exciting race, especially in the points.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you didn't catch a run down the grid order, I'm sure you can read for yourselves, because I ain't got the breath to run down that order. It's just too long. So much experience, so much mix of youth and pace and old people who've raced for many seasons in PSGL. But Fraggle Paul starting on the front row, I just wonder which lap is he going to retire?
Well, it is quite hard to bin it yourself on Bahrain, because there's so many run-off areas, but if anyone can do it, I suppose he can. So I suppose we're about to see.
Yeah, and we've got 15 people tuning in. Hulk, mate, I'm going to ask you to take us through the start here for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Don't you worry, it's going to be a massive calamity for someone, I reckon. I hope somebody misses the braking zone and just crashes half of the field. But we are going to get underway here, Hulk.
Yep, and 5 seconds, and it should be an exciting with the other 2 Ferraris on the front row. Let's see if we can keep on the front row, as we have 5 lights on with Chickenons on the right, Fraggleport on the left. The lights are out and off they go, and it looks like Chickenons got a good start there, and the Haas of Jack Lacey also got a decent start in the slipstream of Chickenons. Is going to have a look up the inside into turn 1. Fraggleport also having a look up the inside there, and yeah, it looks like Chickenons hasn't covered off nicely, but Jack Lacey is up into P2 there off the start, and Fraggleport down at 3rd, Joel down in 4th, and everyone looks to have got away cleanly. There's no real incidents.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's got away well. I'm just going to see if we can go further down the grid order, because there's a bit of action down in this midfield, and it's always nice to see how tight cars are through this really. Oh my goodness me! There's a Mercedes office, JP Greenwood. Oh, the dream for points is already over. Oh, I've made contact, I think, with the back of Mr. Grumpy there at the start. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, he has no luck in this league, does he? But if he sticks in the lobby, he might still have a chance of some points later on in the race if anyone has any incidents.
Yeah, and I can see the gap between Fraggle and Jack getting really tight here, Hulk. Look at this. Oh my god, is he going for a move here? Fraggle pull down the inside. Oh, there's contact. Oh my goodness, that was last of the late breakers. And Joel's going to be having a look in the Force India hole.
He is. He's going to go 3 wide into the final corner. No, I don't think he's mad enough to do that, but maybe onto the pit straight now, as Fraggle, who was jumped into turn 1, is now back up to P2, but it's going to be a drag race down the pit straight, and I have a feeling that Joel is going to win in that Force India with the Mercedes engine. It's got the inside line as well. Is he going to be last on the brakes? I can't see because of my stupid perception. But yeah, it looks like he's dived down. He's taken one of them, he hasn't managed to take the other one. There's going to be another drag race between himself and Jack Lacey up into turn 4. Got the inside line again, can he make it?
Oh, that was incredible racing. I think Joel's just going to have to push Jack off there, and he does. But Jack doesn't want to give that one up, and Fraggle down the inside. Oh my goodness me. Oh, it's incredible wheel-to-wheel battling. The camera angle's a little bit funny today, but wow, that is what you call close and tight racing there between Jack and Fraggle. And what a move there from Joel early on. And Wacko having a go around the outside. So Wacko, Jack's teammate, trying to make a move as Big C, the 7-time champion, watches on. And it's Chicken Owens who's pulling away in the lead in the Ferrari. Some may say undeserved to be driving a Ferrari here, Hulk.
Yeah, perhaps, and perhaps he's about to short with this race, but Fraggle got jumped off the line there, and that's caused all this battling, which has allowed Chicken Owens to pull away within the first 2 laps. He's already pulled out a 2-second lead, which Joel is going to try and point in on if he can. But he does have Fraggle to worry about just behind him. He's only half a second behind him.
Yeah, and we're just going to turn our battles here to Wacko and Jack Lacey. I wonder if team orders will come into play at Haas, because Wacko does look a little bit more comfortable at this stage of the race. But you're right, Fraggle and Joel will be battling very close in front as well in the coming laps. But everybody seems to have got away well except for JP Greenwood. I don't think anybody picked up damage, which does often happen around a track like Bahrain. As Kurt makes a move on Warren Haig in the background, but we'll leave it to that.
Yeah, as you said, it is very easy just to clip a bit of your front wing on the rear tyre of another driver, but looks like everyone's got away without doing that today, and we'll have some very close battles, and it might be Flagel Paul looking at the inside of turn 8 here. As he does, back for the second position is grid slot, and he has managed it, but Joel is going to have the DRS down this relatively short DRS straight. Oh, he's going to have a dive up the hairpin there. That's a very good move. Not what he expected to see, but fantastic racing between a very experienced driver and Flagel Paul almost pushing him off the track there.
Yeah, it's a great move. I think Curtis has picked up damage in the background, but great defending there from Joel. And I'm just while we are on Joel, I've got to take a look. What happened to Curtis? He picked up damage. I think he spun or made contact with someone, but Joel doing a great job in the Sahara Force India. Fraggle needs to get that move done in the Ferrari. It's a very over-paced car. And Joel, I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to hold on. The man, you know, called Bahrain his playground. Can he? Oh, Fraggle's off. Fraggle's gone wide. Oh my goodness. And I think Jack Lacey is going to have an open invitation here to make a move, and he's going to take it with both hands and both legs wide open, and he does. What a move, what a move. And Fraggle has to concede that, and he's gone wide again. Will they give Wacko a slingshot here? Oh.
Yeah, but hasn't made a good couple of corners with Flagel Paul there. Certainly made Joel's job a lot easier down the pit straight, and now Wacko's going to have a look, and Flagel Paul's dropped all the way down to P5, though he's had a little look up the inside of turn 4 there, but couldn't make it. And now Flagel Paul's going to be under threat from Big C in the Renault, if he's not careful.
Yeah, absolutely embarrassing from Fraggle Paul. And Big C having a move down the inside, is he? Oh my goodness, a 7-time champion. He'll be having nightmares of some of the battles he had here last night with certain drivers who we won't name here tonight.
Yeah, but it does look like Big C is on the pace, or down the pit straight. That Ferrari engine is a bit too much for the Renault. And Flagel Paul unable to have a look at the inside of Wacko. Obviously, it looks like Curtis has left the session, which one might have the slipstream grit in effect, unfortunately, but that doesn't tend to harm people too much down this track because it is so reliant on power, but hopefully we still have some good racing despite that.
Yeah, and you can see the gaps are relatively tight. The Chicken Homes and the Superior car pulling away here, but I think there could be a move made here from Fraggle Paul on Wacko here. I think Wacko is not going to have to defend this. He has got DRS from Jack ahead, but you know Wacko has to watch out because Fraggle might send one down the inside. He does. Oh my goodness me! That's disgusting.
That's far too opportunistic. I think you can't diving from I don't know at least 10-20 metres back there. It's a bit too ambitious from him there. But is he going to have another dive up the inside here? Nope, he's decided against that, though he might be having the inside of turn 8. That seems to be a rather popular overtaking spot, as we saw last night. Might see it again tonight. Although he lost the back end there, so I think he's lost any possibility of doing that. And Big C might threaten him again when he locks up point. He doesn't manage to do it.
Yeah, and the gaps are stabilising at the moment, so there's no like action. I wonder if Duo could make a move on Cloudy Balloons there, but I think Wacko and Fraggle's probably the battle to watch. But I'll just stay with Duo and Cloudy Balloons for a while because Duo will have a lot of straight line speed down this straight here, but I think Cloudy's running less downforce at this stage.
Yeah, he is in that Sauber. He's going to be running less downforce compared to pretty much any other car on the grid, and it shouldn't be too hard to do up into dispatch of him. Cloudy Balloons is racing the Sauber of his own volition and decided to volunteer for it. It's not something I do, but he fancies spending an evening driving the slowest car on the game, so all power to him.
Oh, Fraggle's in. Fraggle's pitted. So.
And he's got a 5-second penalty for his trouble there, so.
Yeah, but we'll just go. Yeah, we'll just go back to Joe and Cloudy as a few more drivers in the pits. I know Flying Frame has been battling with. Oh my God! Look at that! Oh my God! Cloudy Balloons pushed him down to the inside, and Joe just backs out of that. Oh, bully! What a bully! Cloudy Balloons bullying Duo Finn. Oh my God!
Yeah, it is only Cloudy Balloon's second race in PSGL. He's certainly looking to make a name for himself. First of all, volunteering for the slowest car, and then secondly, pushing off one of the most experienced drivers on the site.
Yeah, and Duo Finn, I've raced with this man many seasons when I first joined the site, so he was one of my main rivals, and we used to often trade blows for podium positions. Duo Finn is a former Constructors winner in the PSGL F1 League with Red Neville in the Sauber, and Joel picks up a 3-second penalty as expected. You know, I mean, you know, if I could put a tenner on every time he gets a time penalty for corner cutting, I'd be a millionaire. But Juho Finn here, can he make a move on cloudy balloons? There's probably other battles on there that we probably should watch, such as Big C and CC Brain, but you know, you just can't take your eyes off this, can you, Hulk?
It is a rather curious battle. It's not one you expected to see tonight, Mercedes versus the Sauber, but either way it looks like, yeah, Juho Finn is dispatched now and expecting us to drive away in that far superior car.
Yeah, but I just wonder, will Cloudy have the DRS? I think Cloudy Balloons has got the DRS, has he? He's going to have a go back at Joe. This is going to be interesting for 15th place, and the Sauber does have a go down the inside, and whoa, that is great racing. Will Joe have to switch back as JP Greenwood is going to close in on this battle behind?
Yes, there's a fierce battle for the 15th place. It's not even for any points, not even close to any points, but they're still having a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, and I know there's a battle going on for the top 10, but when you've got drivers like Joe Finn battling, you've got to give him the coverage, you've got to give him the airtime. These drivers would normally not get any airtime, they won't get spoken about, but Joe Finn, one of the oldest veterans on the PSGL site, deserves as much airtime as he can get, because he will need to make this move to make his strategy work here. He can make the one-stop work, he's definitely good on the tyres, but can he get past Cloudy Balloons here?
Well, he's already got past him once in the main repass, so that might be a race-long battle, although there are battles elsewhere in the grid. You have Daniel 94, yeah, and Haig just jumped on there. He's in the Toro Rosso this race, he was in the Ferrari last week, and ran away with the victory by a country mile.
Big C pits, but Dano here, can he make a move on Haig? I think he's too far back. Down here, but he's got the straight line speed advantage. He's going to close rapidly, I reckon. Maybe not.
That's not quite as rapid as you expect him to, but yeah, he's not even close enough to have a look at the inside. Haig might just not.
Oh, Joe, sorry for interrupting. Joe Finn, I thought was going to go for a move there, but you're right there. Haig definitely has got good straight line speed, and he's on the mediums, isn't he, Hulk?
He is, and another driver on the mediums was Fraggle Paul in the Ferrari. He's all the way down. He's all the way down in 17th place and is now roughly onto the back of this battle. But he's went under the medium tyres on lap 6, and he's going to struggle to get to the end on those tyres.
Yeah, and who would have thought it's Sauber getting most of the airtime
here?
Yeah,
and he's definitely going to struggle to get the end of the tyres now because he's just been.
Fraggle's off! Sorry, Fraggle spun it! Oh my goodness me! In 18th, in the Ferrari, I think he's going the wrong way, is he? No, he's not. He's back facing the right way. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, I actually caught what happened there. He clipped the rear tyre of JP Greenwood and span all the way into the wall. It looks like he's going to have to make a second pit stop already.
Oh, disgusting. And I think Ugi Azim and Flying Frame are getting quite close as there's activity in the pit lane. And Flying Frame and Mr. Grumpy. Oh, look at that Grumpy going right to the inside. There's yellow flags out there. We'll ignore them for a while. But can Flying Frame make a move on the experienced Mr. Grumpy? Fraggle pulls out. He's out. But look at this. Around the outside, Flying Frame's got the grip. And he's got the pace. Gets the move done. And oh, there's contact behind Ugi Azim. Nearly picking up damage. But Grumpy having to go back at Flying Frame. These three drivers, veterans, well respected in the PSGL site, and Grumpy decides to give that position up and lives to fight another day. What incredible will-to-will battling there. Yeah,
and doesn't look like it's over yet. There might be a little move down turn 8 from either Ugi Azim or Mr. Grumpy. Yep, no, the 4-4 better of it, but Ashbeth maybe having a look at the inside of Ugi. No, this battle is going all the time. It's now up to 4 cars for 6th place.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see trains forming here. It's really hard when you're in a train to get away, to get out of a train, because you know the car behind you's got DRS, the car in front of you's got DRS, and you just find yourself stuck in a limbo almost.
Yep, it's a bit frustrating, but very exciting for us to watch. And yeah, so we have had Chicken Owens hit from the lead. He's on the soft tyres, so he looks like to be going for a two-stop strategy, which is a bit surprising, although maybe with his pace he feels he can manage it.
Sorry to interrupt. I might switch the battle between Big C and Duo because I feel like something's going to happen. I don't want to disrespect Oogie here, but I think Grumpy's going to have some good straight line speed. I think the battle between Cloudy Balloons is getting really feisty. I do want to switch to it because oh my goodness, look at that, Duo Finn making a move and Cloudy Balloons and Big C. Is he going to get a slingshot here? I know Grumpy's defending that position from Oogie, but oh no, we're going to see free wide here. This is dangerous down the straight like this. Big C, I think you only live once, Big C. You need to get past these two drivers. And is he going to make the move here? 7-time champion. Oh my goodness me, it's a very tight corner and Big C has to back out of that one. Joe Finn slides off. Oh, see you later, Joe Finn. Oh, what an accident. Oh.
Yeah, they were going 3 wide, and I did expect it to end in an accident, but I didn't expect it to end in an accident like that. Joe Finn just lost the back end completely and span into the wall. Now he's lost most of his front wing, and that's allowed Big C, Cloudy Balloons and CC Blaine all to get through.
And Big C,
it looks like Joe Finn's going to have to pit.
And Big C making the move on Cloudy Balloons with Sauber coming back at him, and Big C will be lucky to escape the clutches. Oh, Cloudy Balloons, I think might damage his wing there, trying to do a switch back on Big C, but you don't try it on a 7-time champion. You pick up damage, lesson learned. So Cloudy Balloons and CC Brain will be looking to make a move on the Sauber now. And look at that, just bullies him out of the way on a medium tyre. So Big C going for a 2-stop on the softs as the front runners pit.
Yep, the Cloud Balloons is certainly making a name for himself, battling all these rather big name figures in the slowest car on the grid, so certainly making it exciting for us to watch.
Yeah, and I wonder where the other drivers are going to come out relative to this battle, because I know Big C was in a very, very risky train. I think Cloudy Balloons here could be a pivot in the works. They're looking at him, he's weaving down the straight to break the toe from AMS. AMS wanting to get this move done on the Sauber. The Sauber goes defensive. Can AMS get a move done here? No, Cloudy Balloons does run wide and he has to concede that. Lack of experience, though. That car is not great on the brakes, and yeah, he couldn't fight that one for any longer, could he?
I think it's just not great overall, and especially considering he's now got a small amount of wing damage, it's not going to help it in the slightest. He might have to pit soon on those soft tyres, regardless, but he is probably going to have to change a wing as well.
Yeah, well, what we're going to stay on board with at the moment is Chicken Owens on Warren Haig. Now Haig doesn't want to concede this position, but he's on the mediums, on a different strategy, and Chicken Owens on a far superior car. But look at this, Haig coming right back at him on the mediums, but I just... Oh, and Chicken has to slot him back behind, so Warren Haig doing a great job defending the inside, running in a podium position, and Chicken is on the soft, so as far as Haig's concerned, these two drivers only have to make another stop in this race. And look at that, Haig defending for dear life, and he's an incredible racer. And will he slam the door shut there? Yes, he does. Oh, he's not going to have the traction. Push him to the inside. Haig, push him to the inside, up against the pit wall. Come on, come on.
That does look to be exactly what he's doing, almost completely in the pit wall there. There's a small amount of contact, but it looks like Chicken's going to have a look up the inside here, and I don't think there's much he can do to stop him on those now quite warm medium tyres. Yeah, and unfortunately it does look to be this battle over. Chicken Owens is now back through the 3rd place for Warren Haig, who's going to fight him for all it's worth there. But it was essentially pole position, because you are right, they both have to make just one more stop.
Yeah, and we'll just have a look at the stops for a second. So drivers yet to pit at the moment, Oogie Z and McPhee, along with Warren Haig and Dano. So McPhee and Oogie, I think they could be getting quite close soon. The battle for the lead as Cloudy Balloons and Grumpy. Oh, I do want to see this. Oh, yes. This looks interesting. This looks interesting. Is there going to be contact? There is. There is. I knew it. Oh, Mr. Grumpy is off. Oh, he's lost everything. He's lost it all, as has Cloudy Balloons, and Grumpy will not like that one bit. Cloudy Balloons understeered into Mr. Grumpy through there. He should have backed out, and Grump's the unfortunate victim of youth.
Yep, just a little bit there, but he did quite well. I don't think he lost as much time as he could have done there. He got it spun round rather nicely without spinning up the rear tyres too much, and now he's back on his way, but he only lost about nearly 5-6 seconds, so a nice little bit of recovery from Mr. Grumpy there.
Yeah, and we're going to go on board now with Big C and Jack Lacey, because Big C is on the softer compound tyre at the moment. Jack Lacey obviously trying to make the one-stop work. But can Big C make a move on Jack Lacey, as we're seeing an action in the pit lane from Dano? He comes in for what should be his one and only stop. Big C and Jack, they're good friends, they're teammates in PSGL F1, and Big C will be looking to make a name for himself in FP. He's enjoying himself, isn't he, this evening, this Big C? No pressure.
Yeah, I don't think Big C really needs to make a name for himself anywhere, but yeah, he's certainly looking to be enjoying himself. He still hasn't scored a point this season, I think I've mentioned a couple of times now, so he will be looking to do that at least, and fighting with Jack Lacey, who was right up the front early on in this race. He hasn't made his pit stop, so he's up at 7th, and will probably be back up around the front once everyone's made the pit stops, and Big C as well, so this is fighting for position, although Big C looks to be on a different strategy from Jack Lacey.
Yeah, we're just going to go on board with Dano, because he's catching Mr. Grumpy, who's on the mediums, and Dano's in the Force India, so this could get pretty feisty. I know Mr. Grumpy's just been taken out, but I reckon he'll be racing with anger. He'll be racing with anger, wouldn't you? Oh, he's lost a bit of his wing, has Dano. But, misjudged. Mr. Grumpy's braking, and oh dear, that's disastrous.
Yeah, it's very easy to do that, especially when Dano was on the super soft tyres and Mr. Grumpy was on the mediums. You'd expect Dano to have a lot more grip going into the corner, so it's not surprising that he broke a little bit later. Yeah, just a bit of an amateur mistake there to lose your front wing on following another car.
Yeah, and Holt, why don't you take us on board a lap with the 7-time champion in PSGL F1, Big C.
I don't have the voice to go for a lap.
That's alright. If you don't have the voice, I'll go on board with him. Big C, here we go in 7th gear. Is he going to go into 8th gear? No, he isn't. Refuses in the Renault. Look at that, gets the braking spot on for the corner there. Kick of oversteer. And he's absolutely struggling. The dirty air of Jack Lacey through his side middle sector complex. And here's another tricky braking then. You've got to move the braking balance to the rear there to really just avoid front locking. And here, you've just got to tap the brakes a few times, especially with ABS off, as Big C will do. But he locks up there, locks up the fronts. Normally, you're supposed to lock up the rears, but Big C definitely putting his faith in the front tyres there as he closes into the back of Jack Lacey here in the Renault. Car number 15. 7 titles to this man's name. One of the most feared drivers on the PSGL site. Currently running in 8th, and there's action up the grid order. I don't know what's happened. I think Chicken Owens has made a move there on McPhee, so we missed that because we were so obsessed with Big C, but I think McPhee may have a go back here at Chicken Owens. You don't need to invite him twice. And Chicken Owens leaves the door wide open. McPhee refuses to send it down the inside, and Chicken Owens on those fresher tyres continues on, powers on it. And Oogie is actually leading this race from McLaren.
He is, he's done very well to get up there. He's doing better than even Ash Best is doing, also in the McLaren. I'm not sure if Oogie actually made a pit stop. I don't think he has. I think he just started on those soft tyres, running very long in this race. I wonder if he might go into the super softs and go for a very ambitious strategy. Could be interesting to see, but yeah, he's got himself into a very good position. Maybe after the pit stops, he can still fight for some decent points in that McLaren.
Yeah, and you just wonder when will this race end for some of these drivers. You know, it's such a warm day for those living in the UK, and they will be absolutely struggling with a lack of air and oxygen coming through their windows. While they're racing in the heat at Bahrain, Sakir Bahrain, it's known as, And will Ugi defend Chicken Owens? Because I don't think he's got a hope in hell, has he?
Well, it depends what he wants to do. Does he want to try and ruin Chicken Owens' race? I mean, he is on a 2-stop, so he does have to dispatch these cars relatively quickly. But it's probably quicker for Ugi overall. He's not fighting for the win today. If he just lets him through. Yeah, and I think Chicken Owens has now got through, and there's not really a lot Ugi can do, even with the slipstream and that McLaren Honda.
Yeah, absolutely no fight, no bite, and there's movement. I think Dano and Mr. Grumpy, they're in some incredible battle. Warren Haig. Oh no! Grumpy's off! He's lost his end plate. Oh no! Oh, Mr. Grumpy in the wars. Oh, this is so sad to see. One of the most ancient drivers on PSGL F1 is going to have to recover back to the pit lane, change his tyres, change his wing, and emerge back in what will be 17th place. Oh, what a disaster for Mr. Grumpy there.
Yeah, it's not gone well for him today. And the incident with cloudy balloons early on in the race. And now he's having to change his front wing, pitting a fair bit earlier than he was hoping to. Well, he probably wasn't even hoping to pitch again at all, but I think all chance of points is gone for him now.
Yeah, and Mr. Grumpy, I just feel sorry for him. But one man who was really concerned about his pace today, Warren Haig, he's still running in 5th on those mediums, got one more stop to make, and Wacko behind that, looking to make a move here on the Toro Rosso driver. And Warren Haig, he's complained about the pace of some of the PSGL F1 drivers, but he's very quick himself, the championship leader, so mind games, he's not afraid to play them. And look at that, oh, great racing there. And will he have a switchback? Look at that, Warren Haig using all of his experience. He's going to go right back into the slipstream of Wacko here, and he's going to look to attack as McPhee and Uvi finally make their one and only pit stops. And look behind here, Jack Lacey having a go there on Warren Haig. Will he go for Wacko as well? Yes, he does, but Wacko wise to it and gets the switchback. Beautiful. And Haig around the outside. Oh, Jack Lacey's off. Jack Lacey's in the grass. Big C moves up a position, and will CT Brain follow pursuit? Yes, he does.
Yeah, that was some very ambitious driving from Jack Lacey there, making a big diving move into turn 1. It hasn't paid off for him. He lost the rear end coming out of, I think it was turn 2 or turn 3, and right off the track, and he's lost 2 positions there. He's got behind, he's lost Big C and CC Rain. He might be under pressure from AMS as well.
Yeah, but I think he'll recover now and just get the motor going. But Big C now is on the back of Warren Haig. These two drivers first met on the F1 2010 game in a league that was known as the F1 Spy Racing League or the 7th Gear Racing League. These two drivers know each other very well. They've got a dark history, a dark past, and it'll be interesting to see how these two drivers race there. A lot of respect between these two, but Haig will not forget the days Big C used to jeopardise him back in the league, and that they very first started out racing him, and Haig has to concede that position, and Big C locks up there. But a great move there from the 7-time champion.
Yeah, it's got to be coming towards the end of the tyre life on for Warren Haig's car. He's already done 18 laps on those tyres. It looks like he is going for the super soft towards the end of the race, which is a very ambitious strategy, but it pays off for him.
Yeah, and we just got a message in the chat from one of the drivers from Game Freak, and he's asked, is Grumpy a paid driver? No, he definitely isn't. As CC Brain is on the back of Warren Haig here. Do you want to take us through this battle, the two teammates?
Yep, although CC Brain has already made his pit stop, he should be fairly quicker than Warren Haig. He's going to have a look up the inside turn 8. He does indeed. He locks up slightly. Is Warren Haig going to have a look back at him? He is. I'm not sure if he's got the driver out the corner, and he hasn't quite, but he is going to get DRS down this DRS straight. Although he does also have a peek up the inside of the hairpin. Doesn't quite manage it, but he's going to have DRS. Is he going to be able to catch up?
No. Look at Jack behind. Look at Jack behind. Yep. Are these two made contact earlier on? Jack's not going to take any prisoners, is he? I think he's just going to really make this move stick, and he does. Great overtake there from Jack Lacey around the outside, and AMS will be looking to get something to his name as well. So a lot of these drivers making the one stop here now.
Yeah, those tyres, I think they've really seen their best days on Marvin Hayes' car. He really should be looking to pit probably this lap. Yeah, very nearly contact between EMS and Marvin Hayes, and he does indeed slide into the pits.
Yeah, and just let us just talk us through this pit stop, Hulk. I'm sure you've raced for Toro Rosso before. You know these pit mechanics very well from your time. Just will they get the pit stop done in time?
Well, yeah, it looks to be a rather decent pit stop. He's going to come out outside the points, but he's got 10 laps on the super soft tyres to try and catch up and earn a couple of points in the Toro Rosso.
Yeah, and he comes out in 13th place, so and 49 seconds in front of JP Greenwood in 14th place, a massive gap. So I wonder if some of the front runners will come up behind back markers. And Chicken Owens, I've got to say, he's got to make another stop on those yellow tyres. So Jolyon Emanu will be our race leader with a 3-second time penalty in Bahrain.
Yep, and Chicken is going to have to get a move on those super soft tyres. I was looking earlier, and Ian Simcock has created a rather interesting time sheet table thing, which allowed us to see the Chickens were going 2 seconds a lap faster than the rest of the field earlier on in the race. He's going to have to repeat that and more for the last 10 laps on these super soft tyres if he wants to win.
And there's yellow flag somewhere, I just don't know who it is. It's Cloudy Balloons, and I think he's got a puncher on the rear as he's taking those tyres as long as they can go. As Big C and Chicken Owens make their second pit stop, so we'll just see where Chicken Owens feeds back out. It's not where he wanted. He's going to be behind a lot of cars. He's going to have to do a lot of overtaking if he wants to win this race. So all the drivers in front of him on medium tyres. So this shit is going to go down here, Hulk.
Yep, he certainly made it exciting for the last 10 laps. It's going to be him fighting through the field, coming against some very quick and very feisty drivers. Let's see if he can manage to pull out the win in a Ferrari.
And the first of which is Flying Frome, and it's fair to say that Chicken Owens is the one who's flying here, as there's movements further down the order. Haig making a move on Dano, so Haig will be looking to see if he can attack for some points. And the grid is relatively close here, so Frome wouldn't want to lose too much time battling Chicken. I mean, it's his uncle.
Well, yeah, you say that. That might make Frome want to keep him behind a bit more. Doesn't want to be outshone by his nephew.
No, and I mean, the machinery is quite similar, but the tyres are definitely not. And I wonder how the uncle's going to behave here as Chicken Owens closes into the back of him. Will Chicken have any form of sympathy for his uncle here? I think the Flying Front gets right out of the way. It is team orders. Family orders. And look at that, Chicken Owens making the move, and absolutely fantastic. Work textbook undertake. Textbook.
Yep, definitely didn't have their full move over to let him through or anything, but he does still have another 5 cars in front of him, so he's still got a lot of work to do, and they are all very close together, so he's still got a lot of work to do if he wants to win this race. He's got 8 laps to do it.
Yeah, he's got 8 laps, and you know what? We might as well stay on board with him. Oh my goodness! What's happening behind us? It's McPhee and Ash Best. Oh my goodness! Look at that, McPhee on the red tyres. He wants to make this move. As quick as he can. Ash Best fighting all he's worth. The hottest property on the PSGL F1 site, schooling McPhee around on the medium tyres in the McLaren, and McPhee is absolutely fuming. He's fuming. I think he might have chipped his end plate off here, Hulk.
I don't think he quite did that, but he did rush the rear tyre of the McLaren, and if he's not careful he will lose bits of his front wing here. He should be a lot quicker on those super soft tyres, and it shouldn't be too difficult for him to make an overtake, but Ash Best is very aggressive in his defending. We've
got to go back to Frome because he's caught up right to the back of AMS now, so we'll let that battle settle on the side burner, or the back burner as they call it. But Chicken Owens on the back of AMS. I don't think AMS has got an answer there. Look at that amount of grip.
Yeah, there's nothing you can really do down that straight. He's got a better engine, probably a fair bit of fuel on board, and he's on much quicker tyres. And is he going to have a look at Jack Lacey down the pit straight as well in the Haas? He's got the same engine as the Haas, so let's see with JMS and those super soft tyres, he's going to have a look up the inside into turn 1. He's closing very quickly. He's going to dive down the inside. Yes, he is. Can he get slowed down in time? Yep, makes the apex, and now going to swoop around the outside of turn 2. And yep, that's him up into 4th place. Just 3 more cars to go now.
That's world class, and he's got cloudy balloons in the way on the medium tyres. Will he be wanting to move out of the way here? And he does sensible driving. And I think Ashbest has finally let that position, that fight against McPhee go. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. He hasn't. And he, oh, is he going to go around the outside there of McPhee? Oh, what a move. Great overtake. But we're going to go back to Chicken Owns here. Closing into the back of CC Brain. So, Brain here, I don't know if he's going to be able to defend this position. He's going to, oh my goodness, look at the amount of grip that Chickens has got there.
Yep, CC Brain is even going to try and defend it. Well, he certainly didn't go defensive into the corner, but yeah, and I think that is another move for Chicken Owens, pretty much done and dusted now, unless CC Brain wants to be adventurous and have a look at the inside of this corner, and yep, he decides against it. So Chicken now has a bit of a gap to the next car, walk over ahead. He's got about 5-6 seconds to close in, so it might be a little while, but now we'll be able to see his ultimate pace and might be setting some faster slaps.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, but McPhee and Ashbest, they've been battling hammer and tongs here, and that's all allowed Big C to close into the battle for the lowest skirmishes of the points here in the Renault. But look at that, Ashbest doing his best to keep McPhee behind. McPhee absolutely fuming here. Ashbest takes the inside line here. It's a battle over P9, but every point is precious in FP, the reigning FP champion. Look at that, McPhee even pushes him to the inside, makes a bit of contact, and oh my goodness, great braking there from Ashbest. And this man is just learning race after race how to defend and what racecraft to use. That was incredible racing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks like we see McPhee weaving on the straight, getting a bit frustrated there. It looked like McPhee was trying to do the switchback and just got caught on the rear of Ash's car, which was a bit frustrating for him, but he's going to close in very quickly, and you can overtake sometimes, but you can't pull away, and then Ashbest just catches him napping and slips up the inside and the outside again. So yeah, but Ashbest showing some tremendous defending skills here.
Yeah, and all this has allowed Big C to close in as well. So there's yellow flags out there somewhere. We're not quite sure where, but we believe it's probably cloudy balloons somewhere down the field. I'm not sure. But there are a few battles emerging here. So Big C going to close up for the final point here. And looking to make an attack on the likes of McPhee and Ashbest, who will definitely be going at it again. Meanwhile, up the road, Chicken Owns are closing into the back of Wacko, but Joel has got a 3-second time penalty, so as it stands, Wacko will win this race, but I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to stay ahead of Chicken Owns, who's on those fresher, super soft tyres. But take us through this, McPhee and Ash.
Yeah, well, Chicken is lapping about 2 seconds a lap quicker, but as we head back now to the battle between McPhee and Ashbest, and Ashbest going super defensive into the first corner, McPhee just looks to swoop around the outside, but again, Ashbest is so late on the brakes. But yeah, it looks like he's been a bit too late there, and that has allowed McPhee to get through, and now Big C slips through, but Ashbest lost the rear end cutting the exit of turn 3 there, and now Big C might be threatening McPhee in a few laps.
Yeah, it's just great to see these drivers battling really hard. 3 of the most respected drivers in their own rights, and Big C, he'll be looking to make a move. He does. Oh, look at that, bit of contact there. He knows McPhee very well. And oh, Big C, a bit of oversteer there. Oh my God.
Yep, McPhee does seem to be rather cautious on the brakes. You see Ashbest outbraking him pretty much into every corner, and Big C will probably be doing the same, so I think McPhee needs to be a bit more aggressive with his braking.
Yeah, Big C really moving the direction there in the braking zone, trying to throw McPhee off, using his 7 titles and just waving them all behind in the mirrors of McPhee, who's in the Red Bull Racing, and this is Big C at his best, fighting absolutely hammer and tongs. He knows how to win titles. This is only a battle over 9th place, but every point means a lot for a driver as selfish and greedy as Big C. Can he make a move on McPhee here? Same engine power, same well, not the same car, but same engine power. Here we go, down the back straight. Big C on McPhee. Look at this, goes to the inside. I'm sure he'll get his braking point spot on. And he locks up a little bit, and McPhee, I think, has to concede that, pushes McPhee off in the process. And will Ashbest have a move? Oh, he's just hit the back of him.
Yeah, it's a very similar thing to what he did last lap. Lost the back end there, so McPhee does has to try to look to consolidate his 1 point in 10th position now, but Ashbest will trying to keep on the back of him here, but I'm not sure if he can do with McPhee on those super soft tyres.
And Chicken Owns here in the meantime is catching up to Wacko. Hulk, I'm going to let you take us through this because I'm running out of energy, and if any of the people watching today are wondering why aren't I as savage to some of the drivers here today compared to PSGL F1, because I think if you've seen today, a lot of these drivers in this league race with respect. They don't send it down the inside every corner. Tight, fair, wheel-to-wheel racing. So take us through this, Hulk.
Yeah, we have seen that Chicken Owns have been about 2 seconds quicker per lap than the front 2 drivers here, and can he, well, he's not going to be close enough to have a look up the inside here, but he is closing very quickly. All you need to do is pass Wacko to win the race. He is within 3 seconds of Joel, so it doesn't matter about overtaking the horse in there. He just needs to overtake this hat within the next 4 laps.
Yeah, and he'll want to get the move done very quickly, and Cloudy Balloons is on the full wet tyre just as we speak.
Yeah, I think he's just taking the mick now. He's just having a bit of fun. He's about 3 laps down, so I don't think he really cares what tyre he's on. He's not going to score any points.
Yeah, and Wacko and Chicken Owns will have similar engine power, both Ferrari powered engines. Chicken's tyres will have seen the best by now, so it could turn out to be a level playing field, but you know, Chicken's tyres are only going to get worse at this stage, so he will need to make a move on Wacko, as you said. Is he going to go for it here? He does, he tries, no, he pulls out of it at the last second.
Yep, we talk about Chicken Owns' tyres have seen the best days. Wacko's just set a personal best lap last time out, so he might be a lot more difficult than the previous cars for Chicken Owns to get past, but he's going to be...
He's picked up a penalty.
Chicken Owns got a 3-second penalty as well. So that means if they keep battling with each other and Joel pulls out with 3-second lead, Joel will win the race. But as it stands, Wacko is going to be your race winner.
Wow, that is massive news, massive news. And Wacko here, is he going to defend the inside? Yes, he is. He's probably unaware that the driver's behind and ahead of him have got penalties. And can Chicken Owns make a move there? Oh, Wacko goes deep on the brakes and open invitation there. Horrendous defending. I'd never defend like that. Oh, disgusting. No bite, no bite. Horrendous. That is horrendous defending.
And I think Wacko's tyres have probably has had about enough by this point, so I don't really blame him for going too deep into that. But yeah, he certainly didn't put up as much of a fight as I might have expected, but now it might not matter if he is within 3 seconds. Oh,
McPhee's gone off. McPhee's lost the final point. And Warren Haig's up into 11th. Ashbest moves up into the final point. Sorry for disrupting you. It was all kicking off there. I know Jack Lacey's just battling with AMS at the moment, and Flying Frame is caught in. I think CC Brain's made a mistake. So this you know, 4-way battle getting really excited. We will go back to the battle up front very shortly, but we're just going to stay on board here with AMS Hulk. And you know the Renault very well. Will it be able to perform to its capacity here?
Well, I'd hope so. I'm trying to find the car. Yeah, never go find it. Yeah, so he is in the middle of a 2-car sandwich here, and he is hoping to get 4th place. But yeah, I think the Renault, it's a very comfortable car to drive, so hopefully it will be rather comfortable in that car on those medium tyres, and can hold on to 5th place.
Yeah, Flying Frame will have you know, the better car at this stage of the race, so he'll be looking to make a manoeuvre here on AMS. The AMS has got straight line speed of his own there, so I think AMS will be content with P5. Has often been the bridesmaid, hasn't he, for the past couple of seasons in PSGL F1 and also some races in FP, as he was runner-up last season. But Flying Frame here, can he fly again? No, he can't. Has to back out of that one. as Chicken Owns is closing in on Joel up the road. We'll go to it when the gap's under a second. Flying frame, can he make a move on AMS down this corner? No, that's out of it.
Yeah, at the moment it won't really matter what Chicken Owns does because Wako is only 2.3 seconds behind the leader at the moment.
Yeah.
This now 4-car fight for 6th place, although Bailey is only for 7th. Is Flying Frame going to have a look at the inside for 5th place?
Yeah, we might as well go to the battle for the lead. I do want to see what Flying Frame can do here, but I think he'll just stick behind until the DRS straight. But I know one thing, both of these men up front have got penalties, but Chicken Owns will be thinking about it as trying to win the race on track now. But we'll just stay with Frame. Can he make a move on AMS here? I don't think so. AMS has probably got DRS from Jack Lacey up the road. Last lap, we're on the last lap as well, so it is going to be really tight. AMS has got DRS, he goes to the inside Flying Frame here. You might as well send one down, you might as well send one, and he doesn't. So we'll go back to Chicken Owns and Joel here. So we don't know who's going to win the race. Who knows? Wako might have a penalty of his own, probably doesn't. But Wako will win as it stands, maybe.
Yep, but all it would take is one mistake from Wako to drop out of that 3-second window, because he is very close at the moment. He's only 2.6 seconds behind Joel and the leaders, so one small mistake would all it would take.
Yeah, so it will come down to tight gaps to line here, and Joel shouldn't be looking to defend this. He does, and well, he's going to lose time defending, and that's going to play into Wako's advantage. But Joel could be battling over what will be second place if the gap stays as it is. So Chicken trying to make a move any which way he can, cuts a corner while he goes for it, as Oogie behind makes a move on CC Brain. But take us to the line here, Hulk.
Yeah, I don't think Chicken's going to be able to do it unless he gets a very good X out of the final corner. It doesn't look like he has, and I think that's going to be it. It's going to be, well, second place for Joel, third place for Chicken, and first place for Wako. Once he crosses the line, yes, he does take it by 0.5 of a second. And obviously EMS is going to take 5th place ahead of Flying Foam, who wasn't able to get past, and Uki Azim will come home in 7th place, a fair while behind them. And CC Brain has a puncture.
Big C's out of fuel! Big C's out of fuel! Is he? Oh, has CC got a Big C's out of fuel? Oh my goodness! Has Big C got a punch on? There's reds! Oh my goodness me! Oh, look at that! Oh my goodness! The Renault has finished 11th. Big C failing to score points in the Formula Performance League. Embarrassing for the 7-time PSGL F1 champion. No points in the Renault. Another great car selection, another disappointment. And Big C misses out. Punch on the last lap. Horrendous.
Yep, that's again no points for Big C in Formula Performance at the moment. It looks like he did get a puncture on the last lap. His rear left tyre is punctured. That allowed Robin Haig and Ashbest to get through there. And, yep, 11th place and 0 points.
Yeah, let's have a moment here with Joe Finn. We saw him in quali, we saw his battle with Cloudy Balloons, and now he's going to drive to the line here to take what will be a great 15th place. Beats his teammate JP Greenwood by over half a minute. And where is Cloudy Balloons? On the wet tyres. A horrendous showing in the Sauber. Disaster. I think his mind's been boggled up as well in the heat. He's put on the wrong tyres as he just enjoys the moment. Enjoys the moment on the stream. He's not going to be popular with his fellow teammates here in the PSGL FP League, but Sauber doing a horrendous job, and Cloudy Balloons soaking up the atmosphere. And one has to say, it has been one of the most embarrassing performances I've seen from a driver in PSGL for quite a while.
He really hasn't taken it particularly seriously in that Sauber, has he? He had a few battles with some people, then ended up costing Mr. Gunsby a fair amount of time with the spin, and now he's just fucking about on the finish line, wasting everyone's time, and it's really fucking annoying.
That's all right. And while we wait, should we get the podium finishers in the party? I don't know if you've got
Yep.
them added. I do. So after we read out the finishing order, then I can.
Yeah, well,
unless
that's
you've
it.
got-
If we ever get to the finish line.
I'll invite as many people as I can. So, Hay picking up a great final point then for Toro Rosso. He did struggle, but he provided some great action. And who's your driver today, Hulk? Just quickly.
That's a tough ask. I mean, Walker obviously did fantastically to win the race, so he's got to be up there, I'd say. So yeah, I think at the same time, Joel had a fantastic race. He very nearly won it. Uri also had a good race, came from 12th to 7th, but no, I think overall I'll give it to Walker, coming down from 7th on the grid to take victory by half a second. It was a fantastic drive from him.
Yeah, great drive for the Haas driver, but I think Ugi Azim did a great job. But hey, to get that final point in the Toro Rosso, he wasn't confident with his abilities, but a great drive. So we'll just run down the top 10. So it's Wacko, Joel, Chicken, Jack, AMS, Flying Frame, Oogie in 7th, 8th CC Brain, 9th Ash Best, and 10th is Warren Hayes. So Big C, McPhee, Dano, Grumpy Duo, all missing out on points as well, along with JP Greenwood, Curtois, and Cloudy Balloons, and another driver in the Williams. So I can't remember who that is. So we're just gonna wait to hear from the podium finisher. So I'll just see if I can invite a few of them in. Or just suggest them.
Yep, that's a pretty good idea. We'll see them all.
Yeah.
Momentarily.
I forgot who finished the podium. It was Wacko, isn't it?
Wacko, Joel, and Chicken. I also got as well.
That's alright. We'll see if we can get a word from the likes of Flying Frame, JP Greenwood, if they wanted to join. So, I mean, yeah, well, it depends whoever's up for it, really. So I just suggested a few names.
Let's see. I'll just invite them all. So, well, all I can.
And Ash Fest did a great job battling McPhee towards the end, so that must also be duly noted. So we'll just wait for the podium finishers to come in. I mean, the podium finishers do love to have an interview, don't they? It kind of acknowledges their efforts. So we're just waiting to fill the party up. But just before we do get onto the podium finishers, I mean, let's just start with JP Greenwood. A very agricultural drive there in the Mercedes. You qualified on the softest compound, the soft tyres, the yellow compound, harder compound tyre, and found yourself towards the rear echelons of the grid. And are you disappointed to finish half a minute behind your teammate Geofin, who finished 15th?
I mean, I've had my driving described in so many words, but agriculture hasn't been one of them, so that's a new one straight away. But to answer the question, I am a bit disappointed. I think there's a potential points finish tonight. I felt good around here, but it kind of finished on that one really, where I had an incident with Kurt, and that put me right at the back of the field. But as far as my teammate is concerned, I had him well beat up until about lap 21, 22. I think I must have been like 20 odd seconds in front of him. I was in P13 at the time, and going through sector 2, just lost the rear end and went into the wall, and I had to change my wing, and obviously he overtook me. But I think had I stayed on the track, I would have had him well beat today.
No,
Yeah,
well,
can you just say something about? I think you've said that you had your teammate well beat every single week, and you still haven't beaten him quite yet. So,
Well, to be fair, I haven't said that every week. To be fair, it's only been 3 weeks, and secondly, I did out qualify him, so I know there's not the be all and end all, but I mean, I did that qualifying on the same tyres.
No, that is true. I think you just need to keep it on the track, and hopefully eventually you will.
Oh, yeah, but obviously that does help, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did have his hand forced by Kurt Oyce, but we'll move on to the podium finishers now. Thank you so much for that, JP. Great insight into your race. It was very feisty down there on the opening lap.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, well done to finish the race. We're so proud of you in the commentary.
I mean, that's an achievement. I mean, I set myself some goals and I finished the race. So, yeah, the points finish is the next target.
Driver on my day, anyway. So we'll move on to Woko. Are you in the party, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great victory, great drive from 7th on the grid, third on the last lap, and you beat 2 drivers in front of you who just don't know how to not cut corners. You know, you did a great job. You know, you beat 2 bottle jobs today. How do you feel?
Yeah, that really sums it up quite well. No, I wasn't really. I've never practiced pitting on lap 9, so I was quite worried about punctures, to be honest. But I just went with it because Jack told me he was pitting lap 10. We're both in the house, so yeah. I thought Joel's tyre was going to blow. I don't know what his percent was at the end, but I was just sort of hoping for that and hoping for second. I didn't realise they both had 10s. But yeah, it's nice.
Great, Holt.
Yeah, it was a good race. I was expecting Chicken to have more of a. So I was expecting you to put more of a defence against Chicken. To be honest with you, was a reason why you didn't seem to manage that.
Well, I did have a feeling that Joel would have a pen because he got one in F1 as well. So I didn't defend as harshly, so I kept that 3-second gap. I did have that in the back of my mind. But a podium would have been good for me anyway. That's what I was going for after a poor start at FP. It was my first points, so.
Well done. Thank you for your insight. And we'll move on to second place man, Jolianu Manu, one of the most experienced drivers around. Often runs well in Bahrain. From 13th on the grid many seasons ago, he won here, and now in the Force India. He crossed the line first, but classified in the second. He couldn't help but cut a corner or two along the way, but it's nonetheless a great result. Sum up your emotions.
Yeah, typical fashion. Another penalty. Got 2 warnings within the first 2 laps, so I kind of knew that I had a job in my hands to manage it. But yeah, I'm quite gutted, to be honest. I would have rather finished 12th than finished second, to be honest, after looking at that race. But yeah, Woggle done well. I sort of knew whenever he didn't battle Chicken that he had a inkling that I had a pen, so I tried to put my foot down, but I was on 40% tyre wear by lap 20, so I just told myself not to look at it again, and if it blows, it blows. So I don't know what I finished on, but it wasn't good.
No, it definitely wasn't good when you crossed the line first and classified second. So we'll move on to third place man, Chicken Owens. I don't know if you're in the party.
Who isn't here?
Who isn't here? So who's the next person down the grid order?
Me.
So we'll get a word from Big C, who was in the wars today. A few battles with the likes of Warren Haig and other drivers as well, such as McPhee. But you came home in 11th following a punch on the final lap. How embarrassing.
Yeah, there was just something wrong with the car, to be honest. The tyre was beyond my control. It was much worse than the usual cars and much worse than the practice. So I'll have to speak to Cyril later to see what's going on. But yeah, obviously well done to my teammate Joel on the second place. But hopefully, I can fight back. But no, it's nice to fight the likes of Warren Haig and McPhee. I used to battle them a lot. Well, not battle them much, but you used to come across them now and again in the F1 league. When you're coming out the pits and things like that. So yeah, it's nice to battle those guys. But yeah, we have to get our first points in the next race, hopefully.
Yeah, so 7-time PSGL F1 champion, not doing the greatest job. Holt, do you have any questions for any of the drivers here?
No, I think you fielded quite well there.
No, that's all right. Just one last question there for Woko. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
what does this win mean for your team, Exeter Gently?
It means a lot. It's our first win together in FP. Constructors' title has got to be the aim now, after 2 decent finishes for us. But yeah,
And
quite nice to represent Exeter generally.
Yeah, and can you describe why that name was chosen?
You'd have to ask the main man about that. He came up with that name.
Okay, that's great. Well,
From
thank you.
previous experience.
Yeah, well, or daydreaming experiences. But what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap up the FP stream. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and see you next time for the next race. I don't even know what it is, but see you next time out
Belgium.
at Belgium. So if anybody wants to swear before I end the stream, please do so.
Camp Nuggets.
Lewis is gone.